What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing a little bit different style of fishing. We're going to be going after crappies, but ultimately I don't care what we catch. We could catch crappie, we could catch bass, we could catch carp. It don't matter to me. As long as we get something on our baited hook, I will be 100% stoked. We're going to be fishing up in the Tempe area, a stretch of like 3 ponds, a little creek, stuff like that. Should be fun. So stay tuned, enjoy, and let's go get them. All right, guys. So we just tossed on the 6 cent little curly clobber, kind of a pearlish color. See if that can resemble any tilapia or a small little shad. Try to get a couple fish up. It's always good whenever the water's flowing down through these little nooks and crannies like this, because it pushes a lot of the bait fish down toward this end of the bank, and a lot of the bass, they'll just start chasing them. It's very random, very sporadic, but you can pick off a couple fish. Sometimes those little slabs are down here too. This area is super underrated. See a lot of people bypass it, but there can be a lot of fish stacked up in here. Got them carp jumping around. We need some bass and crappies jumping around. That's what we need. See if there's anything up in here. Little random pool. I mean, this thing looks like a... Oh! Guys! Oh my gosh, that bass just came out. That bass just came out. He's barely got it. He's barely got it. Oh my... No. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I think he was on a bed. I think he was on a bed and came off and grabbed it. Oh my goodness. No way. No way. No way. Oh my gosh. Look how we barely pinned him, y'all. Look how we barely pinned him. Oh my gosh. Any tension lost. That's a nice little bass too right there. Not too bad. Yo, that was insane. I was just reeling it right by there, and I see this bass come out of the darkness and just barely grab it. Just a little nip. Oh my goodness. Let's get him on in. Thanks for the bite, dude. Oh my goodness. He didn't fight as hard as I think he should have, but nonetheless, that was insane. I just saw him casually swim out from underneath here, grab it, and I was like, he doesn't even have it, because I could see my grub on the outside of his mouth. So I was just thinking, all right, let's just go for it. Let's give it a little pop and see if that sucker gets pinned. And boy, did he. That was insane, guys. That's a great thing too with crappie grubs. They catch everything. So whenever you're reeling in and you got a fish on the end of your line, you may not know what it is. I've caught crappies, catfish, bass, bluegill, red ear, flatheads, carp, everything eats a freaking crappie grub, big tilapia. So that's what's so cool about fishing with these little guys. I mean, you truly don't know what you got until you get the fish up. All right, guys. So GoPro's off, but we got a little dinker, a little squeaker bass. Not too shabby. We'll take him. Dude freaking cranked it. At first he cranked it like a bass. I was like, all right, little bass. And then he started fighting. I was like, maybe a crappie? But it's a fish nonetheless, and we really can't complain. Anytime you catch anything, it's super cool. Urban little settings, there are a lot of fish in there. Man, I can't even talk today. As I was saying, these urban settings, there's a lot of fish in here to be caught. You just gotta be patient, walk, cast, and you know, just find them. These little bass are moving around this time of year, so you're gonna run into a boatload of them, but you gotta walk to find the crappies as well, because the crappies tend to congregate together. So once you find one, you could typically find at least a handful, but at the very least, you're gonna come out, you're gonna catch a couple bass. It's super cool. The water looks really good. This is the best that this pond's looked in quite some time. Sometimes the water looks just awful, and then there's a bunch of dead fish everywhere and whatnot, but I mean, it looks pretty solid. I do like the wind hitting this bank, because it's gonna turn up some of the bait fish, and sometimes that can get the fish going. I mean, they won't chew all day, but they'll chew for 5-10 minutes. Give you a couple chances at getting a few fish up. There's one. Y'all, we got a good fish. We got a good fish. Oh man. Oh man, I wonder what that was. I'm wondering if we foul hooked a carp for a second. Oh, there's no, normally when you foul hook a carp, you'll have a scale or two on your hook. Man, I wonder if that was a big bass. I know some people have been catching some big bass out of here lately. That's the only bummer about fishing with ultralight, is You know, you really gotta play fish correctly if you're gonna be fishing ultralight, just in case you hook a big fish. Son of a gun. Man, I should have loosened the drag. It's just in the moment you get caught up and you're like, no way, and then, yeah, you just screw up. There's one. Little bass, little dinker, right off the edge. Oh my gosh. So funny catching these little dinkers, but man, I'll tell you what, I'll take them. I will take any fish that I can get right now. Clearly, it was a little bass. Look how vibrant and freaking wicked looking that little bass is. I mean, that lateral line, I mean, you could tell there's a lot more algae in this pond up here.
I guess I'm just following you, brother.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. You can tell that there's a lot more algae up in this pond, which with the water being clear, I mean, those bass are gonna have super freaking elite looking colors. Let's see. Let's just keep walking up. Maybe we'll just keep catching a fish here, catch fish there. If they're not big, so what? Doesn't matter. This kind of stuff is awesome. You gotta love it when you can just come out, do some simple fishing, just have fun. It looks like it's getting a little bit cleaner the further up we go too. So that is a big plus. And look at this little area. You wanna talk about a morning frog, little micro walking bait, little popper, first thing in the morning, game over. Little Bass City over here. Good thing I have that 7-foot, like 6 spinning rod, so I can work around this thing. All right guys, so I only got like 41% left on my GoPro battery, so I mean, we're gonna have to haul ass back to the vehicle. Hopefully on the way back we can get on a couple more. It's probably gonna be the same kind of situation that's been happening where I've been hooking up off camera and then I have to turn the GoPro on. Unfortunately, that's probably what we're gonna have to do. But I'll tell you what, man, the fish, they're chewing. That little curly clobber by 6 cents down at Copper State Marine and Tackle, man, it's working, it's catching us fish. So stay tuned. We should be able to get a couple more. I mean, if they're chewing this way, on the way back, we should be able to pick up a couple more. So without further ado, let's get out there and let's keep fishing. You never know, guys. I know this looks ridiculous and like there should be nothing up in here, but a lot of times, wherever there's any sort of water flow, anything will hang out around it. Which is why I always give it a quick little dangle just to see, because you never know. And I'll be honest, more often than not, there's nothing in there, but there are those surprise times where you're like, no freaking way. Guys, every single time I turn off the camera, I'm getting bit. Look at that. Super green bass. Barely pinned. Look at that short little stout freaking largie. That is sweet. All I did was cast straight down all the gunk, and I mean, he just came out and cranked it. That little buzzbait would be super sick in here. I'm not able to get these fish on film because I only have 41% left on my GoPro battery, so I'm trying to conserve it the best that I can, but every single time I turn it off, literally the very next cast I get bit. What is that? That's happened like 3 times today. I mean, at least you guys are able to see the fish, but it is kind of a hassle, I'll tell you what. Massive koi down there. All the carp are literally just up underneath all this crap. And the bass are just kind of on the edge.